Hey, welcome back, everyone. This is season 2, episode 2. It's Disc Golf Amateur Hour with Marcus and Santos, and we're happy to be back. We're still evolving, we're still working on some things, but we're just trying to bring you the best podcast we can. How you doing, Marcus?
I'm doing good. How are you this week?
I had a good week, actually. Now that you ask, actually, you know what? Let me see. See if we can get this in there. I don't know. Check this out. Ooh. This little DX Zephyr was a CTP prize at the year-end league, Dubs League at JD. First time ever actually making it. And I had a good time. I'm going to just say that because everyone knows I like to complain. I choked, and we went from second place to fourth place on the final hole, 25-foot putt that didn't even touch metal. So that's going to stick with me for a little while. But other than that, it was a good week. How about your week?
I'm doing great. We can get into it more a little later. It's one of my topics I want to talk about. I fixed my form. I figured out what I was doing, what I wasn't doing.
What? That's
Yeah,
awesome. All right. Well,
yeah,
let's get the business out of the way. Hit the ding, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit all the socials. Do what you got to do, folks. We hope that you can help us grow, and we appreciate everything that you guys are doing for us and with us. The week that was, let's just talk about the goat. It's now a real legitimate discussion. Okay, Paige, she's injured. She's been out, but during Paige's reign, during anyone's reign, has there ever been a female to win all four majors in the same year, or all the majors in the same year? Before there was four.
uh, yes, someone did it,
Who?
but there weren't four. I don't know who. I forget, but
Okay,
someone has done it.
so it's like
Someone's
when
won
there was
every
two,
major.
right?
Two or
I'm talking about
three?
in the same year.
Yeah,
In the same
someone's won
year.
all of them in the same year. I just don't know how many there
Oh,
was or who it
we
was, but it
we're
came
gonna
up.
need the facts on that because it came up during the broadcast, and it was that she was the first to do it in the same year to win all. But maybe there was the stress on the word four on the actual count of
Yeah,
the wins. I believe her interview, she said the other three she felt in control, and she didn't feel like she was getting pushed very much, and she felt like this one was her toughest. And you could see it was her toughest. On day three, she was down by two on 18, and poor Henna just had a volcanic meltdown. Were you watching that live?
no, I wasn't.
I did, and after the first tree hit, I just thought, oh my God, how do you recover from that? Then the second shot to pitch out, which is the smart thing that everyone says to do, that I, in my 4 years of playing now, still refuse to. Even if it's a straight pitch out perpendicular to the fairway, I'm still looking to probably get 30, 40 more feet closer to where I'm supposed to go. I know it's a mental thing and I'll work on it, but she did it. She got out. Unfortunately, on her third shot, it didn't make the clearing, hit some trees a little left, and then the big mistake that everyone has seen by now or heard, playing the wrong lie. Ouch. Just ouch. I didn't get to see how she ended up with that other disc by her disc. But I do remember, I don't know if you do. Do you remember Haley King using her mini, putting her disc to the side, like turning around and then coming back and then like putting from her disc and not her mini?
Yeah,
I saw that like unfold. I did not see Henna's. But the moment she did that and bent down, I felt so bad for her. I knew she wasn't going to recover from that. That
yeah.
was heartbreaking. I was actually cheering her on for this major because, and I'm going to go back to our season one podcast with Gambini. He's ruined it for me for the FPO. The putting, I am so much more focused on when he talked about it. And Henna's one of those, right? Henna,
Yep,
Evelina.
yep.
I mean, power for days. They can perform. They can scramble, but when it comes to the putting, it's just these poor ladies. It's I'm made. I mean, I don't know what to say. I can't. I'm not going to judge them and say they're not practicing. Right? They have to be practicing their putting. But as we all know, putting or disc golf in general. What would you say about 75% mental? Like if you
Yeah.
can physically throw the disc, you're good. But the mental side of it, like we can get into actually for you, um, and for me, two, 2 holes before we finished, I got dizzled. It was a legitimate, everybody on the card saw legitimate dizzle, center height on the pole, wasn't left or right. It was just dead center, chains, pole, right back out. Didn't have to putt on the next one, and so I'm worried on the final putt that I'm gonna get dizzled, and I have to give it a little more or a little angle, and it's all in my head, and I miss. I hit no metal from 25 feet.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously it's not for a major, right? I'm never gonna feel that major pressure, but I do feel the pressure, and I do feel the mental part, and I feel bad that to watch it unfold, you know, hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of people saw that happen to that poor girl.
Yeah. Yeah, it's rough. It's got to be hard to come
Um,
back from that.
well, correct me if I'm wrong. You were at a tournament. Was it this weekend when you were giving us the texts where you were falling apart?
It was 2 weekends ago.
2 weekends
Yeah,
ago.
but I mean, we can go right into that if you want.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't much else that happened. It was just the
It was
ladies,
just the
and
women's. Yep.
congrats to Kristen. Yeah, and no tournaments here. So let's get into it. Let's see what happened.
So this past weekend, I just happened to get suggested a video on Instagram by DG Spin Doctor. Yanni, something is his name. I don't know what ethnicity he is. He's European though. Um, awesome. One of the best form coaches. Has some of the best videos. I'll link him in the comments in the description. Seriously, one of the best form coaches and makes the best videos. But he had brought up the hit. So actually exploding out after the power pocket, you bring the disc in. That's not where you generate power. It's after that when you it's not just a pull through, it's a pull in and a push out. So when you bring the disc into the power pocket, you actually need to explode outwards and push the disc away from your body.
We're definitely gonna need you to do at least 2 thumbnail pictures or something because I can't picture this right now. I mean, I
So
get the pulling it in, but
and then push
as
your
in one fluid motion, you're trying to pull it
pull
in and
in
let it out. But
and then push it away. So you pull in and then push away. Exactly what you're doing.
okay,
So I realized I wasn't doing that. I was just pulling in and then letting my body go. I didn't think about pushing out. So I was pulling in and then rotating my body, and I was getting over rotation or under rotation, and I would either grip lock it or let it go early.
and that was the struggles to get
And that
off
was the struggles.
the
And I
tee with your
couldn't figure out,
drivers.
yeah, I couldn't figure out what I was doing wrong until that video. And that then led me to my next thought of I was really good at disc golf for like 3 or 4 years, and I had no idea what I was doing right. I thought I knew what I was doing right. I had no idea. I got lucky. I got lucky that watching Paul Macbeth form and trying to copy it got me to 400 feet. I had no clue why I was good. I thought I did. I thought I was able to teach people. I did teach people. I got people to be better, but I had no idea that the reason I was good was because I was doing all these tiny little things right by accident.
Yeah, I mean, I'm older. I want to say I can kind of uh, feel that because earlier on, like year two, and I'm very specifically going to say this about not many people can relate to this outside of the area, but Bond Hole 15. When I first started playing year one, two, I could get 20, 30 feet into the gap, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now I can't.
Yeah.
I just say, well, maybe I'm just getting old. I'm not going to make it there. Now I can't. But who was I with? Oh, maybe Spencer was someone. Tinkering around playing with that captain from Nate.
Mm-hmm.
I got it back up in there.
Yeah.
I got it back up in there, and I think I actually birdied it. And I was like, well, wait a
Dang.
minute. What? Why haven't I? Why have I not been able to reach this? Like for the last year and some change, the the play was just get somewhere to the opening so I don't go flying by it, and then pitch
Mm-hmm.
up for that three save. But I mean, again, lucky, right? I'm not gonna say lucky, but I have it, it's there because it just happened recently. So why can't I repeat it? And it's all these form things that I'm trying to remember from you, from Justin, from Sully, right? It's when you hear that many voices in your head while you're trying to complete something, it's difficult. So now you're adding another name with some more videos that's gonna go in my head so I can see because I want that. I don't want the 400. I'm okay with that. I am MA 40, throwing 400. Probably won't reach again, but if I'm consistently, as I said numerous times, if I'm 350 on an easy day, I'll take that and work on the form from there. So, um, yeah, the link that would definitely help.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
did it help you? So did you figure it out in a field? Did you compete again at a league or something else? How did you know?
So I figured it out on Saturday, so like 4 days ago. I had it. I had the thought. I saw the video, had the thought. I was like, "Oh shit, I'm not doing that." I went to league. I was scared. I didn't get enough warm up time to practice it, so I was scared to try it in league. Played, shot like 6 down in singles, tied for first. Came out with the 8 tag. Like whatever, good round. Played doubles, shot like 10 down. Um, Came in second. Whatever. I made money all day. Won a couple CTPs. Made money all day. Was happy. After both those rounds were over, when I was about to leave, I got up to the T pad closest to where we were set up, and just threw a couple and thought really focused on that snap, this getting out, and they went like laser straight, and I ripped them. So then yesterday I went to the field or I went to the course because I was like, I can do it in a field. I don't care. I got to do it on the course. Went to the course, threw a bunch of really good drives. Like with drivers, I was getting to holes that I was having trouble with, where they were really in my head. And then today again, went to a course and almost reached a 400-foot hole, like 400-foot, slightly downhill hole, but it was like, it's like a 400-foot ready hyzer, pure hyzer. So for me, it's like a hyzer flip to turnover. So I threw a golf line, like 370. And
Nice.
then another like 400-foot hole, I threw like just maybe 50 short of it on pure hyzer. So like 350, a little downhill on hyzer. So like it's working. So it was the mix of I wasn't following through. So that was my first breakthrough. I needed to follow through. That kind of accidentally got me into the power pocket and to explode out of the hit a little better. But then actually focusing on getting the hit and then follow through brought it all back together. So now I can focus on doing that quicker and harder and stronger to generate more power. And up,
Oh, what happened to slow is smooth, smooth is fast? You're
well,
trying to
slow
get just
is,
right to the faster part.
yeah, slow is smooth, smooth is far until you try to get past 450 or so. Eventually, you need to be
So
explosive.
I know we've covered this, but again, just remind me. You wanted 400, I thought, regular, easy 400.
I,
Are you thinking 450 is in your range now because of this fix?
I think eventually I can get up to 450 or more. I'm going to keep working with Justin. He's given me some tips too. I haven't been able to implement them because I've been so focused on the release point that now that I've got the release point part down, I need to commit that one a little bit more to muscle memory. And then I can start doing some of the fixes that some of the minor things that Justin has suggested me do to get more distance.
Okay, okay. Is it just Justin? Do you not see Bob? Do you have time for working with him?
Um, the last time I went out was just with Justin. I just didn't. Bob wasn't available
Okay,
or
yeah.
something.
I mean, it's schedule things. He's a busy man. You're a busy man. I'm just saying. I
Yeah,
was just curious if you have time to spend with him because for someone who struggles as much as he does, when it comes to coaching, he can see something pretty instantly and tell you,
yeah,
what's going on. Which, for me personally, like the lessons with DBW helped, you helped, like people have helped, but to this day, the reason why I accelerated in disc golf so quickly early is because I had Bob and Justin. So if you're ever lucky enough to have them together, that is a really good team. So if you can
yeah.
make that trip up there, get with them together, and watch like Bob will see something and like maybe not be able to explain it as well, but they finish each other's sentences and they know, you know, how to get it out, and they're really good. So I would definitely say try to work with both, not just one. Not that Justin's not that good, he is, but you until I beat him outright, I'm not gonna knock him. I did see him last week. We did play around. We did the old derby, the JD derby layout
Hmm.
because he likes to throw fire. So
Yeah,
there was that.
it's a fun layout. I will
Yeah.
say I will apologize to DBW for slandering your name and telling people you ruined my form.
I
Dan,
started to go that way when I said DBW, but man, DBW, I'm sorry. He did say that. He was upset. He said it a lot, but he was
um,
upset.
Dan gave me very good form advice. It just I had gotten to a point where that form advice wasn't helping me,
Hmm.
and it was compounding a lot of other issues that I didn't know I had. Now that I've fixed all those other issues, I can now implement what Dan told me again, which was a deeper power pocket, which is get the disc farther into the power pocket before releasing it. So,
I was gonna say, to be fair, he did give you good advice, and he did say you gotta break it down completely,
yeah,
suck for a minute until you get it. So you were just stuck in that break it down part for longer than
yeah,
you wanted to be. So
yeah,
that's why you were telling him, he broke you. Which, in all fairness, that was the plan. It was just you were supposed to ramp back up quicker.
yeah. And I was putting an effort in the field. I was trying things, and for me, it's a lot of trial and error is how I get better. Some people can, watch a video and put that video into action really quick. I need to go out there and just mess around and just do things wrong for a while until one time it clicks, and then I can feel what it felt like to make it click and then repeat it. So I was able to feel that the power pocket hit, and now I can repeat it. I know what it feels like.
What about the theory of not working so hard towards it and taking time away from it? And let me tell you why. Alicia doesn't play that much anymore, from what I'm told. I'm not there, but I know she joined her Bradford team as an alternate, but she doesn't play that much, right? But whenever she comes here, and especially this previous trip, she bombs. Like it's there. She is getting distance. She is throwing. She is playing well. Um, two trips ago, she beat Ethan at Como from the same tees,
Yeah.
and then she no, I think he got her on the final one. But like Ethan plays a lot,
Yeah.
and Christian, Christian plays a lot too. Christian only got her by a couple strokes,
Yeah.
but she's competing with us from the same exact tee pad. She's not taking any tee advantages, and and every time she bombs one, we're just like, oh my god. And Justin just keeps saying, well, she doesn't play. Well, she doesn't play, so that's the fix. Just don't play for 3 weeks and then throw a disc. Uh, what do you think about that? Maybe time off and then coming back in and trying. Have
So
you
I
done that?
I have. It didn't work. I think there's a time for that, and I think there's a
Okay.
time to not do that. When if I was pretty set in my form and I was just like, having a couple bad tournaments in a row, bad weeks in a row, sure, take some time off. If you're not set in your form, the only way to get better is to keep practicing and to keep
Yep.
trying new things or asking new people or taking more lessons. That's my
Yeah.
opinion.
Me personally, I'm not so much into the lesson stage anymore, just because my goals aren't the same as most. I'm not trying to be the top player in my division in the area. Like I want to still maintain fun, and I started to lose that some the fun part because I get angry at my performance or angry at my putting, and I'm like, this isn't fun or blah blah blah. But I've taken the lessons part out of it, and I'll just try to pick someone's brain who I'm playing with. Like
Sure.
I think I'm throwing this on Heiser. Like when I'm releasing this, what do you see? And then they're like, no, just shaking their head, just no. Like you're definitely not. You're standing up at the last second. I did that with Jeff before he left.
Hmm.
You're standing up at the last second, and that's a natural Anheuser release when I stand up straight when I'm letting go.
Mhm.
So I
Mhm.
can start bent over. I can start with the plan, start to walk, do everything to reach back when I'm bent over. But by the time I release, I'm already standing up straight. It's
Yeah.
gone. And so that's what I'm trying to have a casual round, but just picking the brain of someone who I'm playing with. What do you
Yeah.
think this is? Like, can you see and like pay attention and just kind of let me know? But um,
I mean
like I
that
said, I'm kind of set in my ways.
that's a pretty hard thing to do. Angle integrity with your body is pretty hard. That was something Reed struggled with for a while, was standing up on the disc. And then it's just he fixed it by just over exaggerating. Like in your head, over exaggerate being hunched over, keeping your shoulders on that angle. And that eventually fixed it for Reed, and he got a lot better at angles.
So, do you? I don't know if you remember when DBW had one with Kistner. He had a clinic with Kistner
Yeah, I was there.
and another person from PA. I forgot.
Blake.
Yep. Yeah. So
Blake Kelly.
Kistner's thing, which has stayed with me since, was throw every single disc on one angle as much as possible. He said, obviously, you can't do that for a scramble or something else, but a natural throw off the tee, off the fairway, whatever you're doing. His thing was every disc same angle, and then find the discs to adjust to the result you want. Right. So if you're throwing everything on hyzer, then and you want something right hand backhand hyzer to flip up and turn right, then just find something flippier
Mm-hmm.
and flippier and so on. So I've never really practiced it, but recently, because of that issue that I was just having with the standing up, I was thinking usually when I want to throw something flat, I have a good flat release,
Mm-hmm.
but it's when I'm trying to adjust, like I'm doing the stand up, this bending over to maintain the hyzer to get the flip up or the opposite. So I just recently started tinkering just a couple of discs, just discs that I already had, of just trying to do the one angle, throw everything flat, and then see what the disc does,
Mm-hmm.
and try it that way. Um, because, like you said, that integrity is so difficult. But I'm going to tinker with it a little more. But it's the end of season here, and I don't plan on playing too much winter golf
Yeah.
unless I'm traveling. So you're lucky. You can keep working on it. But
Mm-hmm.
what would you say is, because it's two styles, right? You have what DBW is basically teaching you, and then you have what Mark's teaching you. And Mark is one of the highest rated New York State players. Like he's
Yeah.
a really good player. For those of you who don't know, he's a really good player. Um, what do you think about that concept of either throwing everything on hyzer or throwing everything flat and then letting the discs in your bag adjust to that part?
I think it's a good strategy if you are struggling to be consistent, but I think it only gets you so good. I think you max out at like 940 rated. Maybe if you have no forehand and you only throw hyzers with different discs, I think you max out at like 940.
Okay, you know what? This is disc golf amateur hour, and 940 I think would be
You would be
a
happy with
goal
940,
for.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't really care about the rating, but if I was 940 and I kept throwing 940 rated rounds, I believe I'd be competing in just about every tournament. So,
Yeah. And
especially with
that's
the fact of not
MA1.
having a forehand.
Yeah, and that's MA1 is 940. Now, is
Yeah,
that going to compete to be top 5 in MA1 everywhere? No. By
probably
me,
not.
these kids throw like 1,000 rated rounds every round. Like these 15-year-old throw like 1,000 rated rounds every
Jeez.
round, and they're still MA1 because they want to go to AM Worlds and stuff.
Uh, Goals, nice to have.
Yeah. Where
I
I
mean, I
just
do
moved
have
up,
one
so I
goal
don't care.
remaining. My
What's your?
one final goal is Bob. I have to retire Bob.
Oh yeah, you got to be rated higher than
T-
Bob.
Tongue in cheek, it was a joke. Bob said if I ever was rated higher than him, he would retire. Uh, um, if I actually like played the smart golf, you know how Simon went and played the smart
Mm-hmm.
golf by doing Paul's lines. Like if I actually did that, I probably could have caught him by now.
Yeah.
If I didn't just run everything possible, I
Yep.
probably could have. But um, that's a small goal in the back of my head sometimes during um, rated rounds, during something that's sanctioned. It's like maybe I take a little bit off on this approach And if I can catch Bob, that's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I know you guys passed him a while ago, but for me, it's different. So, um, when I was with Sully and we were practicing for Royalton, I said I'm running absolutely, I'm running everything.
Yeah.
I'm confident in my putting, so I'm running everything because I think I can make the comeback. And like 4 or 5 holes in, I made like, I think he said it was like a 80 foot, 85 foot putt. And it's at the basket that's on a small hill too.
Yeah.
So if you miss that, it's gonna roll, and it's a lot of things could happen. And then I had a throw in from like 120 something feet with a zone, just being
Hmm.
a max aggressive on everything. And depending on how my putting feels the day of the tournament, I might do the same exact thing. I might
Yeah.
max run everything.
I mean,
And if I catch Bob, that would be cool.
yeah. That was something Justin pointed out to me is that I've been running putts more and better. Like I've been actually running long putts with good attempts, not just like bad layups. And I've been
Yeah,
making
that's yeah.
I've been
I would
making a
love to
lot
see that
more.
from you because
I
I know your thing was pretty much layup first. Like you were not. I don't want to say
yeah,
you were opposite of me, but like even if it was in your head, it was a run. It was the softest of runs that probably wasn't even hitting metal anyways,
right.
or reaching the basket. So I'm
Yeah.
glad to hear that you're doing that now.
Now I'm running
Um,
putts a lot harder from farther because I know I'm going to make the comebacker.
yeah,
I have a
that's it.
lot of
That's the
confidence that
confidence
I'll
in that
make.
comebacker makes a difference.
Like if it's in the circle, I'm mad that I don't make it. I expect to make everything in the circle now.
Welcome to my world. I don't want to say everything. I want to say everything with the 25 to 30 foot area is gray. If I miss, I'm not pissed.
I'm mad. I've
If
thrown
I
enough of those.
miss everything, no metal,
Well,
then I'm
yeah,
pissed. There's a difference. But everything inside of that, I'm comfortable, and I've been making more and more regularly. My putting has been recently; it's just felt great, except for 1 point series at ECP
mm,
when it just was 1,000% mental, and I duffed like 4 footer, duffed 8 footer, 10 footer, like
those hurt.
100% mental and just pissed, and it couldn't let it go for the next 6 holes, and it cost me. But the other four, like I tied for second, won two of them, tied for second. Like it was all my putting. Or you were there for one of them when I put like 7, 8 birdies in a row at Water.
Yeah,
Started out terrible.
yeah,
Putting was better. So if putting's on, let's run it, man. Let's run everything. Who is it? Yuli in the casual rounds. Run everything. You want
yeah,
to know how it's gonna feel? Just run it.
yeah.
Um, we're gonna change the podcast to just run it one time and have everybody send videos of running every single putt,
Yeah, well,
and it's gonna be fun. I'm telling you.
someone just asked me. I played around with some guys today, and speaking of running it, they asked me if I knew Jared Orr from running it with Nate Sexton.
Well, that's still a thing.
No, he was like, "Hey, do you know that guy that screwed over Sexton?" I was like, "Yeah, he came to my
No,
league a
that's
couple
what I
times."
mean. Like people are still talking about it in that context. Like I
Well,
know it's
just
no
because
longer a thing.
they knew he was from Buffalo, so they asked me if I knew him, and I was like, "Yeah, he showed up to a couple
Okay.
leagues and stuff every now and then." But yeah, it was funny. I just didn't. I never thought about that. I forgot all about that podcast completely. So when you said running it, we can't really call it
Yeah,
that because
you
it's already
went to
been.
that.
Yeah,
Well, you know what I mean, though. You
yeah,
know what I mean. This is the run it episode where
the run
everybody
it
just starts
episode.
running it and taking
Yeah,
videos because, like, there's a difference, right? There's a difference between all skill levels, like
hmm
completely. My running it, if I'm at, I don't know, 40, 50. Actually, no, I'm comfortable with that area now. So outside of 50. Outside of 50 is questionable, soft layup, get your putt, get out, don't
hmm
play around. Justin, he literally jump putts from 175 feet out.
yeah.
Why? Just why? Okay, I know he's tried to teach it to me and how to do it, but just come on, man. Nobody. I'm never gonna run it from 175. I don't say
Well,
never. It's not a jump putt, but you'll see me grab that Crystal Fierce and throw at it once in a while. But for the
yeah.
most part, those are approaches. You know
A
what I mean?
a jump putt from that far isn't really a run though. A jump putt from that far is really just a short throw.
Have you seen him doing it?
I know I've seen him do it. I've seen
It's a
him make
run.
it. I've seen him make it. I know.
Yeah,
But
and it's a run because it goes flying by the basket.
for most people, it's just a layup. It's just to get close.
Right. well, I want to do something where we have people send in their videos of their putts where they're running it and not laying up, or if it's a death putt and you're not laying up, or if it's on a hill on a slope and you're not laying up. Send in
Yeah.
some videos and we can put one together. I mean, I could just record any casual round where I'm somewhere like that and I'm running it. So
Yeah.
it'd be nice to have you on there doing a couple too.
Yeah. I can put
Ask
together some
ask the
runs.
team to put a couple. That would be
Yeah.
nice. Where is it? Bond. 17.
Oh yeah.
That's still a tough one. People lay up from
Yeah.
within the circle. I've seen it. You've seen it. People do it. I won't do it anymore. If I'm in the circle, I'm going for it. Period.
Yeah. I agree.
I was lucky enough to catch up with Gambini while he was in town this past week,
Yeah.
and we played around at Bond,
Mm-hmm.
and we just did a mixed layout, right? Just whatever you feel is better. When we get to the hole, we had a dub, so it was me and him versus two of his buddies,
Mm-hmm.
and we there's certain shots you want to throw. Six blues, four blues.
Yeah.
So quite a few of them that he wanted were blues, and then some were white. So we didn't have it predetermined. It was how we were feeling, what the group decided on, and we played it. But when we got to 17, man, did he catch a flashback? He absolutely caught a flashback. Big nuts Buxton.
Yeah.
He was like, "Why would you run that?" He said it out loud. Why would you run that? And I said, "Because you were feeling yourself after your escape over at 15 when you pulled out the roller and nobody knew what you were doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like we thought you were gonna yeah, we thought you were gonna Anheuser a putter in the air, and we're looking like, where's this kid going? You know, when you put it on the ground and rolled it up, you're like, wow, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
But you were feeling yourself. You really thought you had him shook. And then
Yep.
we walked to 17. He makes that putt. He had him. They played like three more holes after that because it was a circle, right? They
They
finished
played.
on like three or four.
They played like 5 more holes or 6 more holes. Yeah. They had 18, 1, 2, 3, 4.
That's how they started at 15. No,
They
started
started
on
on
14.
14. They played 14, 15,
14 to 4.
14 to
14,
4.
15,
Yep. 9
16,
holes.
17, 18. Yep. So, yeah, and I reminded him on 18. He ended up hitting somebody in the audience in the gallery.
Did he? I
He
don't
forgot
remember
about
that.
that part. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he went forehand, and he just I want to say it might have been Katie.
Oh, I don't
If
remember that
anyone
at
knows,
all.
if anybody was there for this, you can chime in, let us know. But I want to say it was Katie. But he definitely hit someone in the gallery. They were far left. So
Mm.
when you're on the white tees and you have that cut out to the left that goes even further
Yeah.
before the trees, they were there lined up, and he hit someone.
Yeesh. Yeah, it's a bad shot.
So that's when Buxton got in his head,
Yeah.
and that's when he knew his chances were done. But yeah, that putt that he did, that's absolute running it. And
Yeah.
anytime I'm within the circle, I just think of him putting and not laying up. I'm like, why would I do it from here?
Right. Right. If he ran it from that far on that hole, why would I lay up anywhere else?
Insane. So don't do it. That's the message of the day. Don't do it.
Don't lay up.
Don't lay up.
Just run it.
Yeah, just run it. And if you're an amateur like me, you know, there's levels to this. Marcus is a couple levels or a level above. But when it comes to this putting thing, it was Ricky Steeler was the first one to tell me, you're always going to be afraid of the comebackers if you don't practice them. And the
Mm-hmm.
only way to practice them is to run it. So run everything, practice the comebackers, they'll become comfortable. Join your leagues. We got putting league coming up here. Definitely at Fat Man's. I don't know that I can pull off myself going back up to the South Towns every Monday. I don't know what Mike's plans are, so that's still in the works.
Mm-hmm.
But there definitely is putting league. Fat Man will have theirs. I know Spartan will have something. You know, we may even do a virtual one. Tracy does one for the ladies.
Mm-hmm.
Join these putting leagues. Join the virtual putting sessions. Even if it's small tournaments, with you and your buddies sharing live, do it in the off season, and it's going to help you. Since ours in the South Towns, my putting has drastically been better, and it's only gotten a little bit better, and the confidence is there because of it. So, run everything. Go to these leagues. There's money on the line. It matters. You know what? I did not get to do. I forgot. You told me this thing where you just throw money off the tee pad for CTE.
Yeah. Super fun.
I've got to remember that. I've got to remember that, and maybe put a twist on that for somebody who has an outside the circle putt and throw some money on the
Yeah,
ground if they make it or don't make it, and then leave the mini and everybody puts from there
everyone
and see if they
tries.
can
Yeah,
make it. Yeah, that's a fun
yeah. There's some
idea that I need to
ideas.
stick with me when I'm on the course.
Yeah, yeah. I'll try and remember to
Um,
do that when I come into town next.
Unfortunately, this episode is going to be a little shorter because we are spending a lot of time working on different ways of capturing audio and video and what we do. So I don't want to end it there just yet because I do have a question for you, and
Okay.
we can carry it over to the next one. But it's this thing about the new discs that keeps happening, right?
Oh yeah.
Uh, Major manufacturers, new disc, new disc, new disc, new disc, new line, patent, 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 patent. There's so much plastic, so much, and they're basically you're getting to the point where it's oversaturated in the same area, right? So let me say the zone. I guess that's just the easier one for me to measure. What's every manufacturer's version of a zone, right? And then all manufacturers do it. Or actually, the destroyer would probably be better because everybody wants a destroyer, right?
Everyone
And
wants a
there's different
destroyer.
versions of their destroyer.
Hmm.
Um, but like they still have the molds of popular discs, and they stop making them. And you'll have these channels and these social media efforts where people say, "Please, guys, come on. There's a demand there. Can we please get a run from X mold or whatever?" I know they get a little picky with the plastic they want, but they just want the discs, right?
So
Manufacturers just
what?
keep cranking out these new molds.
Yeah. For me, it's a lot of the. So when you say people are asking for these, crying for these runs, for me that comes down to like old Innova molds that they don't make anymore. I see a lot of people crying for old Innova molds. Like,
I see a lot for MVP molds
so the
and
MVP
some
one,
Innova, but
the MVP one is different though, because they can't make some of those molds with their new molding machines. When MVP brought molding in house, they got new machines that are different than the original machines they started with. So some of the
that's good
molds
to know.
don't work anymore. They
Okay,
can't they
is that
can't
kind
use
of
some
the
of the
excuse
molds.
for Innova?
No. Innova, they just retire molds because people stop throwing them. New faster discs come out. New discs come out. Like
I don't like that.
people clamor for like, well, no one throws the crow, but people want the crows back. No one really threw the polecat until like PDGA Rodman on Instagram was begging for a Halo polecat, and then that caught fire and
Man, did
people
that
wanted
catch?
it, and then they
Yeah.
made it. But it's
We're gonna
like
have to
it's
talk
just
to our friend who works in the factory and gives us the lowdown and see a little bit more detail behind some of this because I don't know what goes behind. Like, how much of a cost is it to switch out a mold and do a one time throwback run? You know what I mean?
well,
Throw
they
the mold
just
on the machine, pick a plastic, even if it's DX, just to give somebody something throwback. I just
yeah.
say DX because I looked over at um, the one from Hawks, but like, you know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like a throwback run, even if
Well,
it's
they
I don't
did
want to say
just
a
run.
thousand because that's a problem.
That's small, yeah. They ran Halo Stingrays for cat merch, which that's a mold not many people use anymore. Is the Stingray, but a lot of the old heads like the Stingray
But
for
they
hyzer
might now.
flips. Yeah,
And Cat
uh,
Merch is throwing it, so that might sell some.
yeah. It's a pretty good hyzer flip disc, pretty flippy mid range. In
Yeah,
Halo, I bet it's got a little more stability, probably pretty good neutral flyer. But they're also repurposing some of these molds for Infinite discs now, Innova specifically. Infinite disc is getting some of these molds, or like the top of one with the bottom of another. So
I like how that's happening. I do. I like
yeah,
experimenting. I like seeing what's happening. That was the one that comes to mind recent was the Alien
the alien's
because we
wacky.
talked about it. Because we talked about it after League. I was with Nate and a couple of the guys, Maui, and we were at Tribal Flyers, Hawks Landing,
Hmm.
and the Alien was there. They were just grabbing end of year discs because it's a great time, party, giveaways, everything. And I remembered it was Garrett Gerthy's the top of his with a mold or
Yes,
whatever. And I was like,
Sonic top on
just
a
the fact
Mako
that
bottom.
somebody did it, right? They did it. They said, let's put these together, see what happens, and then throw it. And if it picks off, okay. That part I get because you're trying two different things to create something new. You're not just redoing a new destroyer.
Right.
You're not just doing, you know what I mean? Something that's been in production that you have millions in circulation. Like, don't just keep doing the same ones. Which brings me to a very good point that I wanted to talk about. We could probably end it after this. The Zone,
Yeah.
the Zone GT.
So there's two of
They're
them.
taking, yep, they're actually making it a challenge. Let me see if I can. You go ahead and tell the people at home what it is. I'm gonna pull up the
Yeah.
email from it so I can get very specific about what it was.
It's they're Discraft is making two new zone types. They're, I believe, zone bottoms, but one has the Ringer GT top on it. So it's got like a raised shoulder, and then one of them
I
has the,
believe we can share a picture if you want. We can
yeah,
put the
yeah, I can put the
the
pictures in.
yeah.
And one has the
So,
Banger GT flight plate with the deep thumb groove, not just a lip on the top. So,
right, right. Um, so here's they sent out another email because the original picture that was circulated telling everyone this battle, it's called a battle pack, right? You're gonna buy a pack that has both, and they want everyone's feedback because what they're saying is they couldn't decide. They were split down the middle on which one to run with, so they want to sell as many of these as possible, get everyone's feedback, and decide which one makes it to production. But the original picture they sent out was misleading. Everyone believed it was going to be the ESP plastic. It's not. It says here the Zone GT Battle Pack discs will be released in a premium Z blend.
oh,
And they did apologize, saying previous mock ups look to be in either the putter line or ESP, so we're giving you new product images
okay,
so you understand what you're actually getting. You cannot sell or accept pre orders prior to the release date.
wow,
Um, the release date is you can pre-order up until let's see, they don't even have one yet, but
oh,
depending on how many pre-orders they get, mid to late October is what they're saying. So the
okay,
closer they get to the cutoff for the order from retailers, they see the volume they're going to get, they anticipate how long it'll take, and then they'll kick out a release date. So mid to late October. I don't know. You can take a guess. I'm going to say on the ass end of that as late as possible because I just
yeah,
think that the Zone is so popular that people are going to want this and they're going to want to test both.
yeah,
But at the same time, the Groove track, the GT, whatever you want to call it, thumb track, it's not for everyone. That feel
yeah,
isn't for everyone. It throws some people off. Me personally, I've already decided I'm going to like the Banger one because I threw a Banger GT. I threw a Buzz GT and they had the same style. I love my zones, so I want to see what this feels like. Probably doesn't mean like I carry an actual Ledgestone zone, and I carry a Zone OS. Those are in the bag, and I do throw them both. Obviously, the regular zone more often, but because I'm working on my forehand more, and I risk the rollover, the Zone OS is helping me combat that.
hmm
So, which one do you think will be the winner?
the Ringer GT top one. I think more people will like that. I think
Really?
the zone bottom on a with a Banger GT flight plate is gonna feel so awkward in the hand.
I'm
I
gonna need to order a few of them then because they're not gonna make
I'm
them.
gonna want them just because I like the Banger GT top, and just because it's one of those things that I kind of want to have. I like weird stuff.
Hmm.
I found a used disc from 2008 with a dude's face on it. I bought it. I just like weird old discs. It's
You
like
know,
an
speaking of which, go ahead.
I say it's like an ESP Crush with some dude's
Oh,
2008 birthday stamp on it. Like, it's hilarious.
I actually have Infinite VIP.
hmm
They brought back was it the Rakuten or something like that?
Yep, the Rakuten and the
The one that
Missilin.
had the golf ball dimples
Yeah.
and it had the little thumb placement.
Yep.
Like that's cool. It's different. I'm not selling that. That's a
15
keeper. It's on
speeds.
my shelf. Yeah, no, I'm
They're
not selling a
huge.
15 speed, but I mean, it felt great in my hand, but I'm never gonna throw it. It looks cool. The science was never tested. The dimples or whatever it was,
Yeah.
and it was a throwback from years ago. Yeah, but they brought it back. They did it. So yeah, I understand wanting to have something cool in the collection, but
hmm
that means I'll probably have to get two packs. One for the collection that doesn't get opened, and then a couple to throw because I'm gonna have to throw them.
Yeah, I think Z
Uh,
blend is good. I like my when I was throwing zones, I liked them in Z swirl. Especially the Ledgestone 2020 run, or not the Ledgestone 2020, the Tour Series 2020 Z swirl.
yeah,
Awesome
not the
run.
Ledgestone. Ledgestone is Crystal Flex,
Yeah, those are
and
good
Crystal
too.
Flex Sparkle. That's Crystal Flex Sparkle was my ace. That's the one that's hanging up over there.
Oh yeah,
Um, that was my first ace. Uh, but I've never like once I had that feel, I've never gone off that. It's
yeah,
always been Crystal Flex or Crystal Flex Sparkle in the bag, and I love it. So not going
yeah.
anywhere. It'll never leave. But if there's a groove, a GT that feels nice, and I throw it pretty well, then you never
You
know.
never
Maybe
know.
maybe have some room for it.
Yeah.
I just that's like the polecat feel, right? Like the ringer. It has that
No,
lip at the edge. Like
it's like
no,
the
what is it?
pig. The pig
The
has
pig.
the
Yeah,
lip.
that's what it was.
The
The pig.
birdie has the lip. I think.
His
Or
new one,
the Saki Bomb Slammer, the Saki
Slammer.
Slammer.
Yeah,
Yeah, the old Slammer, the
yeah.
original Slammer, and the there's another one. The original Slammer has the same lip top, and I can't remember the other one. Dynamic has another one with that top on it too. I can't think of the name.
Well, let's if for everyone watching, I appreciate the feedback. We appreciate your feedback.
Hmm.
So give us your thoughts. Tell us what you think will be the winner. Tell us if you plan on trying it. Um, I know Marcus is sponsored by Gateway. Marcus is still going to try it. Um,
I'll check it
I
out.
could
I'm
imagine
curious.
Luke being Lone Star, he's still going to try because he likes his zone. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Sully got two sponsors. I'm sure he's going to try the zone. So even if you're sponsored and you're trying it, let us know. Let us know what your plans are with it, what you think the winner is, and what your feedback is. And then maybe we can do an episode in November where we get some of that feedback and see and give our feedback and maybe even some trials with it and see how they fly.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's a good place to wrap it up.
I think
We've
so
taken
too.
up some time today
Yeah.
doing this, but again, we appreciate everyone. We appreciate your understanding. We appreciate knowing that we're going through some growing struggles, trying to learn this together and share with you. So we appreciate you guys joining us, and we look forward to having more fun this season. We're going to try to switch it up and do some things on location and maybe share some of the putting things and stuff that we had planned last year. We just didn't get around to. So
Hmm. Hmm.
anything else? Oh, we forgot the what's coming up next week. You got anything coming up next week?
Well,
Anything big in the men's world?
I'll drop a little teaser. So it's big down here. USDGC doubles. It's a amateur event. Um, a friend
Who are
of
you grabbing,
mine.
Bob?
No, I can't play it. I've accepted cash. It's one of the three events I can't play. Yeah, I know. I didn't know that before I moved down here. Otherwise, I might not have accepted cash because it seems like a really cool event. One of the guys
Okay,
I play with
and that's
today
this
is
week.
borrowing my cart for the event,
Oh,
but he's
nice.
playing it. And he already told me he loves the podcast. So I said we got to have him on next week or the week after to talk about U.S. doubles.
Absolutely, we will. Is it this weekend?
It is this weekend. It is, I believe, Thursday, Friday,
Yeah.
Saturday, Sunday, or Thursday, Friday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or something.
Is there divisions?
MA1 and FA1.
That's it.
That's it. They play one round. They play the Winthrop course. They play Camp Cannon, and then Winthrop again, I believe. Um,
We have the point series here. Otherwise, I would
yeah.
scramble to try to find somebody here to go down there.
Well, too
But
late. There's
next year,
qualifying events.
yeah.
you
Oh, there
you,
is.
you got to place top one, two, or three in a qualifying event. Depends how big the field is.
How
So,
many?
there was one almost every weekend for a couple months down here. If you drove to
Okay.
like North Carolina, South Carolina, maybe Georgia, you could find a
Feedback, something
qualifier.
to give him to tell them. Have the qualifiers later in the year, so people up north can go down there and try it too. It's not as hot.
Well, but the event's next weekend,
I
so it
know.
has to be.
I know. That's why I said have it later in the year.
Yeah. Well, I don't know when qualifiers start. They might start early in the year. I just moved down here in July, so I only started hearing about it in
Well,
July.
we'll have your buddy on and we'll talk to him and see
Yeah.
see what the details are for that because I'm sure it's a great time. That's
Yeah.
cool. All right, and then was there anything else for you?
Nope. I got weddings and travel. Got a lot of travel coming
I'm
up.
still not 100% that I can play the series. Point
Oh,
Series finale because it's 2 rounds at Royalton,
yeah, it's a
and the
long
first
day.
round is 22 holes,
That's a long day.
22 or 23 holes, and then 18.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'll be able to pull that off. I'm gonna try to get out there during the week in the morning before one of the shifts and see what happens. But if I can, I'm gonna give it my all and see what happens,
Yeah,
and then I'll have some
absolutely.
feedback for you next week.
Yeah, I would love to hear about it.
All right. Thank you guys again for joining us. That's episode 2. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the dings, hit the bells, do everything you can to share with us. And thank you for joining us on this journey. Have a good one.
See you
Bye.
guys.